It's time to talk business. Bill Docherty's here. He's an MBE. He's also a management consultant from Persuasion. Knows a thing or two, does Bill, and tells it like it is. Welcome.
Well.
Fly Globe span. Scotland's biggest airline goes under. First, as an outsider from the business community, how does it suddenly go under, Bill? They must have known for weeks. Why can't they give consumers more warning? Why does it suddenly happen?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, at the end of November, they were having problems in terms of paying for fuel. What the heck were the CAA doing? We pay a lot of money to them to look after
Civil
their
Aviation
interests.
Authority.
Yes. And what happens, as of yesterday afternoon, it went bust.
So the business, the airline industry must have known things were not as they should be, well in advance of the humble man in the street finding out.
That's it. And why the heck wasn't something done about it? This is a rerun of the supervision thing on the banking scene. We got it in the airlines. I thought these days had gone long, long ago, back in the 50s and 60s. We've still got it now. And what about the CAA? They say if you book a package holiday, you're covered. But if you book a flight by itself, you're not covered by them.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
I mean, this is going back to the Middle Ages.
Other airlines have seized the opportunity to, shall we say, make a few quid. Well, there's no nice way of putting it. They've seized the opportunity to make a few quid, haven't they?
Give you an example. My young brother in Glasgow phoned me just before I came on. And he said, I was on the website booking a flight from Glasgow to Malaga yesterday afternoon, £37.90. 1 hour later, £260 for the same single flight. Who's making money?
And
it's Christmas for the airlines.
And the thousands of passengers stranded presumably won't be able to find a flight home. Some will be repatriated, though. The Civil Aviation Authority has said they'll bring 1,100 of them home, won't they?
But there's another, I think it's 2,900 or whatever the figure is. Two-thirds of them are left out there. Find a flight, find the cash. And by the way, if you didn't book with a credit card, you find it, you've got to pay for the flight you've had and the new one, because you're not covered. This
is a lesson that we repeat often here. If you pay with a debit card, it's like a cheque. You're not covered at all. If you buy with a credit card, you are covered, aren't you? Well, certain products and services that you buy.
And what we're asking people to do is to cut down the amount of credit, and people are paying with cash, effectively, and then they're getting hammered. So I will not pay for another thing unless it's with credit card.
Unless it's with a credit card. Well, you talk about debit cards, and debit cards are the electronic cheque, but the paper cheque is to go by 2018, according to the banks. The UK Payments Council announced this week, goodbye cheques by 2018. Businesses are a bit worried about it, aren't they? Some of the smaller businesses are.
Well, the majority of small businesses are. I mean, the Federation for Self-Employed came out and said, oh, yeah, we're quite happy with it. It's fine if the person, you're unemployed, you're young. You try and go and get yourself a debit card. Try and get a credit card currently. And it's difficult. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Totally support it if they put in place everything that needs to be in place for us to pay.
They claim they will have that in place by then, but then, you know, I mean, is your local builder going to have a chip and pin machine? I have no idea how it's going to work.
Or am I going to walk around with one and say, hey, I'll sell you this?
I'm not quite, how will I pay for my kids' school trip, for example? That's the very few cheques I write these days, for like stuff to do with kids and school. So it's an inevitability, because fewer and fewer people write cheques. 1 in 1,000 retail transactions is by cheques now. But they need to make sure they sort it out before the cheque disappears.
Sort it out, do it now, not in 5 years' time.
OK, let's go back to flying, but not directly. It's the flying to and from. Manchester Airport, profits down, footfall down. Are we to be worried about this? It's a big, important Manchester business.
Oh, it's massively important to Manchester business. But what have they done in terms of prices over the last 2-3 years? Everything has gone up. I go in there regularly, fly around. It costs me more to buy stuff in the airport than it does out here. It used to be a pleasure going in there. Oh, look, I can save a bottle of whiskey. I can save money on that. That's great. But I get it cheaper out here.
But isn't that the retailers who buy the franchises that charge those prices? That's not in the control of Manchester Airport Group, is it?
Manchester Airport Group can do what they like. And if you don't follow their guidelines, you don't have a licence to trade. And what we've got, well, who controls the parking? How much is parking now?
A fortune.
A fortune. So if they manage the prices, manage the process, and yes, they've invested a lot of money.
They have.
And it's starting to show, and it is starting to show, but you've still got silliness going on there. You're having to walk half a mile to get to your plane. And you can see the blooming thing as you drive up.
You need a plane to get to your plane.
Yeah, you do. And we'll get charged for that very soon. You know.
Oh, don't frighten me with any more charges. Bill, as always, good to talk to you. Told you, tells it like it is.